This song was the most complete out of everything that we've been working on. And not being in the band for about 5 years, when we decided to start doing the well together, and this is going to be the first track, everything started coming back. All the muscle memory, all the riffs, all the fun, exciting things. And I really get a lot of inspiration just by playing with Joel. You know, whenever he writes something fun, he'll write these really fun riffs. And I'm like that kid who's like trying to impress his dad the whole time, or his older brother. And I'm like, well, I could do that too on bass, you know. And sometimes he's like, cool, but just do the root, and I'll just play the root note, but then I'll sneak it in and look over at Nate, and then it ends up being part of the song. So I'd say our years apart, our 5 years apart, it was nice to have this be an amalgamation of all of the stuff that we'd already done and the sound that we've been doing, cultivating over the years of playing together, and then it just all kind of coming out into one 5-minute track. I really wanted to. One thing that I really like about this band is that it allows me to have a presence. It's not just a support. A lot of times bass players are just sort of like supporting the foundation of the song, and of course it's important to us as well. But I really felt like I've had a voice that I could actually put out there, like my voice. And I think the overall tone of the song is not so doom and gloom, although the parts are very muscular sounding. It's still like lighthearted enough and accessible enough to, and I just kind of wanted to convey that while also having my voice, because that's me. Sometimes I'm a little dark and moody, and sometimes I am a big goofy teddy bear and likes to tackle you like Calvin and Hobbes, So I wanted to kind of capture that sound. One thing that Joel and I have talked about for a long time in our history of working in, musical instrument manufacturing and retail is that we have kind of an unfair advantage because we're around really great gear all the time. And working for Sandberg, it's a company that I've loved since the first time I put my hands on them. And so I use the Sandberg VS4 just because it does all of the sounds that I want it to do. It's very simple. It's passive bass, and it sits well in the mix. And to get that hugeness, muscular sound that I was talking about earlier, that going into things like the Bergantino Forte D amplifier, as like the baseline clean sound, and then also using like the Bergantino Super Pre to capture that like nice distorted tone. It gets that mean sound that has a lot of presence with all that nasty ice picking attack. And of course, when we sent the track off to Kemble, he just knocked it out of the park. He knew right away. And I think he's a bass player too, so it definitely shows. That I'm very happy with the end result. But I think it really starts. The old saying is garbage in equals garbage out, and having the luxury of having really nice gear at my disposal, it's nice because I'm not putting garbage in, and I'm sure it made his job a lot easier. I think the moment that it really clicked was when we were deciding that what song we wanted to put out first, and really this just happened to be the most complete in terms of all the parts. And then once we all sat down and okay, we want to extend this section, we want to extend this, a lot of our tendencies that had laid dormant for a while started coming out. I don't think it was one particular moment for us or for me at least, that it clicked. I think it clicked the moment they showed me the demo. And then I immediately went to Joel, like, two kids, geeking out on the playground, like, oh, I would do this and then you do this. Yeah, you do this and I do this. And that's been the process. It was just like, I don't know, it seems like a nice timestamp of old friends just sort of like catching up, like when you really connect with somebody, you don't have to be around them every single day. And then when, if you have a lot of time apart and you get back to, hang out again for the first time in a long time, you just pick up where you left off, and that's what this feels like. I didn't feel that there were any roadblocks for my creative process in this. It was really just a collaborative effort. I think the person who bears a lot more responsibility in the band is Joel, just because he's doing a lot of the like compositional side of things, but he also, we all work well together enough to be able to do the orchestration together, and that's where I really have a lot of fun. And we all sense that about each other's strengths. But he also has a lot more heavy lifting with having to write the lyrics and then the melody that goes with that. But once those things are done, then we kind of lean on each other to take parts and move them around and just have fun with it. Like I said before, it really just, there's such a great body of work from this band anyway that I enjoy listening to as much as playing. So getting back together, again, the muscle memory starts to take over. And if I think back of, the past 10 plus years of doing this band together, having all of those influences along the way, from like the slickness of Steely Dan to the crazy, fun, big, unison riffs of Mastodon, the big, loud drums of whatever the fuck Nate listens to. I think that we wear our influences on our sleeves like badges of honor, and just for whatever reason, we've had a way to kind of put it all together. We coined the term yacht metal, and this song feels like that. Sound changed a little bit. I think when we first started demoing this, I had the intention of using a different style of bass. It was a Sandberg TT4, which is, kind of like a J bass sound, much more focused and defined. And I just felt that I wanted a bit more of a classic sound, and getting away from that, I wanted to lean into the split coil nature of the Sandberg. So really, it was more about tonal characteristics that were important to me. The previous record sounded awesome. I know that was predominantly recorded with a Rickenbacker bass, so the bass is very, it's very focused, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But for this song, I wanted it to sound a bit rounder, and with that came some modifications to the parts that I was playing, just to lean into that bigness even more. But I would say by and large, from demoing to the finished product, it's about the same. Just minor changes to the gear and just very subtle modifications to the parts, but nothing drastic. I hope that the listener can hear old friends reuniting again. I really think that this song conveys that quite well. I don't think it challenged me to do anything new. I think that we're all in better places in our lives. Not to say that we were in bad places before, but I think that we've all matured enough in that 5 years. New job changes, lifestyle changes, kids, etc. And it just feels right. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't think that there was a lot of yeah, I think just where we are in life, there's a comfort there, and just being around each other. I think that comes across in the song. I think it was a bit more unexpected. I think originally going in, I know this might contradict a little bit what I said earlier, but going in, I felt like I really was like, all right, I'm back, baby. I'm gonna play every riff note for note, line for line with Joel. I want my bass right up front in your face. This is gonna be Marc's song. And I think the maturity kicked in that, oh wait, this is about us. This isn't the Marc show. And I think that's why that's what kind of prompted some of those gear changes and subtle part changes to kind of really elevate everybody together. This isn't just my song, but this is definitely a testament to us being together again. I keep saying that over and over, but it's just the truth.